We are Legion.
What is up, comic fam? Happy Tuesday, happy new DC day, happy new comic book day, the 48-hour event that kicks off every week, starting on Tuesday, depending on where you're at. But looking forward to talking about books today. Got a stack of really cool books. We're going to do a little giveaway during the stream, and we'll talk about that as well. But before we do any of that, check this out. Go ahead and thank the sponsors. We got Justin Comics. If you need anything cleaned or pressed, hit the description in any of my videos to find a direct link to him. Use the promo code to get a discount. That promo code being We Are Legion. And a huge shout out to Big Time Collectibles for sponsoring the channel and the monthly giveaway for the channel members. This coming Sunday will be the next giveaway. The Legion Loot is the first Sunday of every month. So that huge giveaway will be drawing for the winner for the channel members on that day. And a huge shout out to the Augusta Book Exchange. They are the keepers of my comics. That's where I get my new books every week. Always excited to go there, hang out, pick up the new stuff, talk shop. Let's say hey to some of the people in the chat. We got Las Crucias 1971 is up in there all the way from New Mexico. What is going on, my friend? Wheelchair Superhero 87. Happy new DC Day, new comic book day, and we are Legion. Yes, we are, my friend. Dale, what is going on? Good afternoon to you, my friend. Blue Hellion, our two-time reigning champion. So the last two DC Day giveaways I've done, Blue Hellion brought both of them home. What's up, folks? Hope all is well. Most definitely, my friend. We got Remy Q Studios in the chat. Hey, how are you? Those channel emojis flying. So if you join the channel membership, it gives you access to those custom emojis as well. And we have Eman, newly branded Eman's World of Geek. What it do, fam? Hashtag Villains Unite. Absolutely. I love that hashtag, my man. For those that don't know, Eman is a quarter of the podcast, The C-List Villains. Fantastic podcast available anywhere podcasts are offered. Just it's always a fantastic time listening to those guys. They are a trip. So I hope everyone's having a good day. Hope you're able to get out to your LCS, whether it be today or tomorrow. Either day, just get out, support those local shops, pick up as many books as you can stand to try out and read. And we're going to go through and look at what I picked up today. No spoilers on Tuesday. We save all of that for Sunday. And we're going to see what we got going on. So I'm going to kick it off with, if you watch Chris the Comic Vet's channel, he just had a massive 800 subscriber giveaway last night. But every Sunday, he posts a video that him and I do together where we each give you a book we're looking forward to this coming week and why. It's our top pick, and we're going in blind. And we're going to kick off with the first book today is what my top pick was, and it's Superman Space Age, issue number 2. And as you see, I got my little Christopher Reeve bookmark in there because I was trying to read it before the stream, made it just a little bit better than halfway. So this is the new series from Mark Russell and Michael Allred. It's kind of retelling the origin of Superman coming to Earth up till current, and it's kind of going through the ages. It's a 3-issue series. The first one absolutely blew me away. And already halfway through this one, there's been numerous times where I've laughed out loud. I've kind of did like a little fist pump. Like, this is so well done. It's almost criminal. I highly suggest everyone check this out. It does have a $9.99 price tag, but it's 100 pages with 0 ads in it from cover to cover. So you're basically buying a $10 trade paperback, and it's just ridiculously well done. I was kind of concerned if issue 2 would be able to live up to the hype and deliver like issue 1 did, and it's already doing that and more. So it's really cool. Obviously, from the cover, we're getting more of the Justice League characters in this issue. We dive into some of those. And there he is. Joining me today is my fuzzy-faced friend from the Bada Boom podcast, Mr. Flo Dameron. Fresh back from being trapped in a mine. How are you, my friend?
I'm good.
It's almost time for a little grooming there. Oh,
yeah, it's almost time.
You're getting ready for Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was planning.
Yeah, now that I said it, I feel like you told me that ahead of time. I should have remembered. Hope you're doing good today, my friend. Not
Good,
only
good.
did you just join the panel, but Mr. Paul Rogers joined the chat. What is going on? TJ, Flash by Night Comics is in the building. Afternoon to you. I'm not answering that. Yeah, I am. So, real quick, I do like to plug this stuff at the beginning of the show in case people can't say it at the end. Plug your
Yeah.
podcast real quick.
Yeah, so Bada Boom Podcast, we've been on a bit of a hiatus, but we'll be back next week. We have had some great guests, especially being that this is new DC Day with Deathstroke Inc. coming out. We've had Ed Brisson, the writer of that book, on, Christian Ward, artist on Aquaman. So it's really fun. So check us out, Bada Boom Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, I enjoy listening to you guys. Y'all have a great dynamic.
Mhm.
Troy does a fantastic job editing it, and it flows really smooth. I'm enjoying seeing that y'all are getting these guests on there as well.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's building fast.
Yeah, we next week is Comic-Con, so we'll have some cool stuff for that. And hopefully meet some people in person to see if hey, you want to come on the podcast?
Dude, that'd be dope.
Harass some people.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, closed mouths don't get fed, my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just touched on Superman Space Age. I
see you have a bookmark.
I do. I was reading it. It's actually a Christopher Reeve trading card from Superman.
That's dope. What'd you think so far? I got to the part where Batman. I know this is not a spoiler show, but Batman kind of, does his own thing with the Justice League and stuff, which is cool.
I'm past Batman's part in here, and it was insanely cool. Like I don't want to get into too many details, but the individual voices that these characters have and their perspectives, and when you get past Batman's part, you're going to revisit his train of thought from somebody else's perspective. And what was crazy is I found myself completely agreeing with everything that was being said by Batman. It was all solid points, and then as soon as we revisit those same concepts from a different perspective, I'm like, holy crap, I agree with him. And I found myself like, this is crazy how you can get torn between ideas. It's hard to get into without spoilers, but this book is ridiculously well done. And I said that right before you got on here. It's so well done, it's almost criminal.
It's feeling, you never want to get too ahead of yourself, but it definitely feels like New Frontier, like that kind of thing. Like once it gets collected and stuff like that, it'll be like one of those books. You're like, hey, if you want to understand DC, the Justice League, or these characters, you just read this.
Yeah, and I was kind of looking at it like this is going to be a new staple for Superman, kind of like how Year One was for Batman, how it's revisited often to really highlight certain aspects of the character. But this is like so all-encompassing for this character. It's really wild. It's really wild.
Closed mouth commentary is cool.
Ever. I use it constantly with my kids. Yeah, stop feeding them. Stop feeding them. What is going on? Mr. Kenny Bird is up in the building. How are you today, my good friend? So like I was telling people, I do have some, I'm going to be doing a giveaway today. So I'm going to touch on that book next and talk about what I'm going to be giving away. But the next book up is from the DC Horror imprint. And this is Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead. So I have read this one already. It was surprisingly good. It's Bruce Campbell and somebody else is writing it. I think someone else is writing it with him. I don't know, but this Gary Frank cover is awesome. It's cool to see Easy Company coming back. A little bit I know about this is Bruce Campbell was in talks to write something, and he wanted to do Easy Company. So it's cool to get a Sergeant Rock book, and it was wild, very well done. And this past Sunday, Ryan asked me, why would anybody be excited about Bruce Campbell writing? Nothing against Bruce Campbell, but just like people like, oh, it's Bruce Campbell. Why does his name sell you on a book? And I'm like, that's a good point. I don't know if he's even qualified to write. But then when I picked up the book today, he's actually a New York Times best-selling author to begin with.
Yeah, and when it comes to the Evil Dead, he really is the main producer on those movies. He's the one that fires up the fans for new series and stuff like that. So he's had a hand in where the character's gone and where that world is gone. So if you're an Evil Dead fan, Army of the Dead, and nothing's going to get you more excited than Bruce Campbell actually being involved in it.
So at the point, this is not like Ash and the Evil of Dead. This is not a crossover. This is just a Sergeant Rock zombie Nazi book. Like
Yeah.
you see the science behind it. It was really really fun. It was really well crafted. It had some cool action moments. Had a bunch of hoorah moments, and it was very interesting to see the angle that they're going with the zombies as well. If you like those kind of books, war books, action books, zombie books, it touches on a little bit of everything in there. But real quick, we got a $2 super chat from Blue Hellion Comics. I appreciate the super chat. He says, if Mark uses a bookmark, is the page extra marked? Absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt. It couldn't be more marked if I tried. Channel member Jerry, what is going on, my friend? Sorry I missed the fun at the LCSA. Yeah, I was looking forward to it. Definitely not as fun without you there, my friend. Looking forward to next week. Hopefully we can all collide at the shop at the same time again. But that leads us to what I'll be giving away later in the stream. When I got there, I was definitely looking forward to picking up Sergeant Rock, but I found that there is a polybagged copy. I did not know that they were doing a polybag copy, and it was $10. Not sure what's in it, but I picked up 2 copies because I'm going to give one away and I'm going to keep one. I still have no clue what's inside of it. I didn't look it up. I didn't want to spoil the surprise, but we'll be running a giveaway during the stream for one of these, and if someone wins, they can decide if they want me to open it or if they want it receive it sealed. All right, next up, let me see where I put this copy. There it is. Next up, the highly anticipated Nice House on the Lake issue number 10 dropped this week.
I forget that book is still going on sometimes.
Absolutely, and that's why it's kind of a bummer. They kind of take the steam out of some of these series with these weird breaks in between issues. It did have that halfway point where it went on hiatus, which was announced ahead of time, planned, and other books do that. But then from issue 7 and 8 and 9, it's been kind of inconsistent. But
I feel like with maxi series and mini series, there shouldn't be delays. Like I think it definitely takes out the momentum from a lot of it. Like especially a book like that had a lot of heat behind it, and I'm sure it's going to do really well when it's collected and stuff. But I definitely fell off of it.
I definitely haven't fallen off of it, but I completely fall off of certain books like Dark Knights of Steel. We've been on that hiatus, and they gave us that one shot. It's kind of taking the piss out of me on that one. I'm still going to read it, but it definitely kills that momentum. You get in a groove and a vibe of reading them and talking about them. But I have read this one already, and I will say that this is the issue that everyone's been waiting on this whole time, and what we've been building up, and all these questions that we have, and just waiting on answers, and how they just keep giving us little tidbits and more questions. This issue is probably the one that delivers the most out of all of them so far. It was absolutely crazy from start to finish. It was a blast. And again, they still leave us with some questions, and they deliver a massive cliffhanger in it. And everyone's going to be excited about, I'm sure. Yeah, no, Dan, not today. No acetate to give away today, but I came with a poly bag instead. Yeah, Dan won the last 2 acetate giveaways. Hope that book picks up. I'm not impressed with the second half. Yeah, that's most people's sentiment. When we returned from that hiatus, we kind of did 2 issues of retreading common ground, but this one takes off like a rocket. Absolutely takes off like a rocket. Now, another one this one was on a slight break, wasn't it, while the Red Hood books came out?
No, that one's been coming out consistently. I think Sean Murphy announced that the next issue is going to be delayed by like a month or so.
They should have timed that with Red Hood books, man.
Well, yeah. Well, he said that it was his fault. He took blame for it. He's like, this is the first time I've been late on a book and stuff. So I don't think there's like
crucify him, brand him with something that says Jeff Johns, and crucify him.
I'm gonna personally go see him in New York Comic Con. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna need to see those pages now.
Yeah, which is ironic because they include some pages in the back of each issue for the next one, which I think is a goofy strategy. I don't know why they do that. They include black and white pages for the next issue. Like, I'd never look at them whatsoever.
Yeah, I think he takes like a lot of ownership over it. It almost feels like it's an indie book in a lot of ways because the way he promotes it. And the way, he's like, again, with the delay, he could have easily been like, oh, some things, paper, this, that. But he's like, sorry, guys, I personally effed up on this one.
Yeah. Well, it's worth waiting on. It's definitely a great book. I really enjoy the series. All that whole White Knight universe that he has crafted has been fun. It's such an interesting, like a lot more dynamic in a lot of ways take on Batman and Gotham as a whole. But it's a blast. I like that we're getting the Batman Beyond in it as well.
Yeah, and it's that's a character that that obviously does really well when they have a spotlight on it. I think there's been some really cool like runs in the comics and stuff, and he holds up pretty well. It seems like he always has like an ongoing going on, or at least a mini series.
Yeah, Ryan's
So
been reading the Neo year that they did, and for the most part, he's enjoyed it. He said there was like 2 issues that kind of just it lost its kind of fluidity and kind of tanked a little bit at the end. Didn't really have a big pop at the end, but overall, he said he enjoyed it.
yeah, and the show still holds up. It's still great.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, here's one that went on hiatus again, an announced hiatus that gives the artist time to catch up, which it is what it is. I do agree with you that they should definitely have these things
Mm.
better planned ahead of time. And I know it's one that you've been itching to talk about.
I know it. I know the book. I know the book.
Go ahead
It's
and
on the
announce
top
it.
of my poem.
Boom!
Human Target. Yes, yes.
I have read this one already. I woke up, read it digitally. I've been excited for it to come back. It came back strong. This is a classic detective noir style whodunit mystery where our lead character, Christopher Chance, the human target, is trying to solve his own murder. For people that don't know, his whole shtick is he gets hired to impersonate somebody with a target on their head and take the bullet for them and catch the perpetrator. Well, he got something squeaked by and he accidentally drank poison, and he's trying to figure out, while he has 12 days to live, who done it. And his primary suspect is the Justice League International from the 80s. So it's cool getting to revisit that time era. The dynamic of the characters in that time era is revisited and kind of expanded. It's a cool way that Tom King takes the characters and their personality traits and just inflates them to a grander scale, like Guy Gardner being the jerk and just a dickhead, really. He just kind of just inflates that to make him an even larger than life kind of character. But great book. Each issue is kind of focused on a different character investigation. And obviously, from the cover, we're dealing with fire from the duo Fire and Ice. So it is definitely a great book. I love Smallwood's art. It fits the story perfectly. And yeah, I'm pumped to see where it continues to go. This is 7 out of 12.
Yeah, Smallwood's amazing. His Moon Knight is like my favorite Moon Knight.
When did he do the Moon Knight run?
With Lemire.
Okay, that's the one where they really dug into like the multiple personalities and stuff.
Yeah. So those 14 issues are amazing. And you know, the best episode of the Moon Knight series is rips from that directly.
Yeah, that's what everyone was telling me. I haven't read it. I'm not that familiar with it. Most of the Moon Knight stuff I read was with the Finch era.
Yeah, which is also great.
Because that's when they really got into how damaged of a character he is. They really focused.
And that was a great art book. Like that was just like awesome. Just like
I remember starting off with both of his legs like broken and barely hanging on, just dragging himself to the statue of Khonshu. I'm like, that's etched in my brain. I didn't know what I was getting into when I read it. Really didn't know one way or another back then.
And the faceless Bushmaster, with his face ripped off throughout it was awesome. So that's a great book too.
Well, that's a perfect segue because speaking of faceless Bushmaster, next up we have Detective Comics issue number 1064, Ram V's third installment since taking over Detective Comics. These covers are phenomenal. Like we have that wicked demon hanging over like almost like a marble statue of the Dark Knight there. I'm really enjoying these, even more so than the main Batman title, which in my opinion is more of like a gimmick title just to drive sales. They're always doing the first appearance of this character or the city's under siege again, bring in the tie-in books and make a huge deal out of just a standard story. It's really just, I don't know, it just seems like a gimmick book where Detective Comics is typically consistently just decent to good storytelling. And Ron B is bringing his own flair to the Caped Crusader with this series, and it's got this huge gothic overtone to it, this this real crime noir feel and style to it. And we're bringing in some like old Gotham history elements with the Arkham family being explored beyond, like way back in the family history, to the point their last name isn't even Arkham, and they're coming back to Gotham to straighten out their name. Like they have this position of power that has been lost throughout the decades, and they want to reestablish it. And they're like some kind of ultra wealthy, almost like secret society style family, and they're bringing in all kinds of tricks with them, including like some kind of uh, hallucinogenic sound that's being used as a weapon that's really messing with Batman and his perception on reality and stuff. It's been really, really fun.
Yeah, I like this series, and like you said, I with the new Batman title, I like the way Sadarsky and Jimenez work together because it's like it has this energy. Like when Failsafe, that fight is pretty awesome. So I'm liking it better than the previous like Tinian run. But I really like what Rom is doing because it's interesting. It's like I didn't know how he would fit with Batman because I'm like, I don't know if it's the right character. But reading it, you're like, this is actually really interesting.
Yeah, he's got a unique voice to Batman where it's definitely him, but it's almost like I have this feeling like I try to, when I'm reading Batman or pretty much any primary superhero that's been around a long time, I think in the back of my mind, I'm always trying to compare it to something else. Where do I find the
Mm.
familiarity of this character in other stories? For example, Batman the Detective that Tom Taylor did, that miniseries, it felt like this was like Frank Miller's Batman. He was older, like all the Robins have left the nest. He felt like he was broken down. So it had that old gristle feel to it. And this kind of gives me those vibes too, where he's kind of rougher around the edges in the way that he interacts with people, or how his willingness to even hold a conversation with the Bat family. He's just very dismissive of them and he's got it kind of thing. But I'm enjoying it for sure. Good afternoon, Jimalo. How are you today? But yeah, so we're down to two titles. One of them is a older book I'm picking up. So the whole Earth Prime series, I picked up the Stargirl one. It had a movie photo cover. I wanted to read it because it tied into the show, and it did so very well. So I wanted to check to see if they had the same thing for the Superman and Lois TV show, and they did. So I picked up the movie photo cover for that. And in the process of looking into them, I found out that there's a final like 4 or 6 pages that tie all the books together. And the final issue is the culmination of all of them. And it's Magog from Kingdom Come, which is the binding agent for this series.
Yeah.
At this point, I have the entire series sitting in my box. I'm just kind of picking them up one at a time or a couple at a time as the weeks go, because I want to see what happens in that final issue. And I can't read that without reading the rest. So luckily, I've found the movie photo covers for like the Batwoman, the Flash, Superman and Lois, Stargirl, the Legends of Tomorrow. I don't think had a movie photo cover of it, or it was just sold out. But I'm excited to have that. They just put out pictures yesterday of Tyler there in his season 3 outfit for the upcoming show. Got me more excited to read this after that little post that was made. Fantastic show. Good book.
Yeah, I guess that's their version of doing the crossover this year because they stopped doing that big crossover they used to do every
I didn't think
year.
about that. Yeah, we didn't get one.
Yeah. So I guess like, doing it in comic book form is like their way of doing it because they always had like a character like a Magog and that would bring all of them together. But I guess one, probably money, and then two, all of these things are probably going to end pretty soon. So it makes no sense to spend the money to bring all these characters, all these actors' schedules to make another big crossover.
Yeah, most of them are ending. We have this season that just started of Stargirl, and they're filming the next season of Superman. I really thought that we weren't going to get a season 3 after watching the finale for 2. It seemed it had a little bit of open-endedness to it, but it wasn't with our primary plot or characters. It was really with like our secondary characters. So it seemed like they weren't really committing to much. And then with them canceling off everything else with CW except Stargirl so far, it just seemed like a weird direction.
Yeah, I think again, Stargirl hasn't gotten a renewal. Superman, obviously they've committed to this, but they've said Superman is kind of going to be a big focus in the Warner Discovery strategy going forward. So once they kind of nail down what they're going to do with the movies and stuff, I'm sure that's going to get the axe.
Yeah, I don't see them
And
trying to run multiple Supermen in live action format at one time. That's
yeah, but
just
what's weird though is somehow that Gotham Knights got a full season. So you're like, wait, how did this get through? And then it's Gotham Knights, but it's not tied into the Gotham Knights game. Also, the character in the show is like the son of Batman, but it's not Damian. So it almost feels like it's not connected to all those things. It's just like,
seems ridiculous if you ask
yeah,
me. It's the most.
no, very ridiculous. It's
I
it's
can't. I
very old.
see, like when people have been getting worried and upset about all these cancellations from stuff, like it all makes sense to me.
Yeah,
Like because though it's content to watch, like just because it's there doesn't mean it's good for the brand or good
yeah.
overall or what for the future of the brand or what could happen. Like, and so seeing something like Gotham Knights makes zero sense whatsoever. I expected that to get the axe before episode 1 drops.
No, I thought like when the pilot when the trailer got came out and everyone like shitted on it, I was like, oh, for sure, this is never seeing the light of day. And then it got a full season order. I guess someone on it must be a really nice person.
And then there's also the prequel comic book that was announced the week of San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm not even sure if that's the prequel for the show or the prequel for the game. But
That
either
one's actually
way,
for the game.
yeah, either way,
The
I'm
what's
skipping it.
cool, what I like about what DC does with some of their promotional comics, like the Fortnite one, the game one. I think each one is going to have like a code for different costumes in the game. And even though the trailer for the first trailers didn't look that exciting, I think I'm gonna get Gotham Knights. It's starting to look better and better with each reveal, and I think it comes
About,
out in like 2 weeks.
about the game or the book or both?
The game, probably both.
Gotham Knights equals Riverdale and Gotham. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Superman and Lois as well. Chop joined the chat. What is up, my friend? How are you? So we're getting down to the last book. If everybody wants to put in the chat, let's see. I'm going to put a hashtag in here. Since we're going to be giving away a Sergeant Rock, go ahead and put in hashtag Let's Rock. And we'll get those collecting while we go through the last book here. So the last book, one that I was extremely excited for, first thing I read when I woke up this morning, Action Comics, issue 1070, The Return of Kal-El, back to Earth in his own title.
You mean 1047? I'm like, wait, we didn't hit 1050.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 1047. Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit.
Absolutely amazing covers by Steve Beach. He jumped on him with that War World Apocalypse issue. I love that gives me like George Reed vibes, even down to the costume.
The
Like
texture and everything.
Yeah, the way that he did like Darkseid up here, Luthor, Mongol, Metallo looking like a T-800. You got Grundy on there, Bizarro, Lois looking like she's straight from the 70s, original classic looking Jimmy. Like this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous cover, and the story did not disappoint. Riccardo Federici is still on the interiors with those highly detailed, just amazing. The fact that that guy can do interiors blows my mind. Like, because he posts a lot of stuff on social media doing the pencil work and stuff. And I'm like, dude, how does that not take him like a few months just to do one issue? It just crazy. But the story didn't disappoint. You get his return proper. You get to see them dealing with the fallout already from the events of War World and kind of what happens with War World specifically after the events of the War World saga. So it's going to be something that carries for at least 3 issues, because 47, 48, and 49 are supposed to be one little 3-issue story arc that gets us to the 1050. They're doing a big celebratory event for 1050 with tons of covers, all kinds of stuff, and it's going to be an oversized special. But yeah, what is going on? Tate Prime is in the building. Raider Nation 87, what is happening? Ben Compton is up in here. How are y'all doing? So yeah, have you been reading Action Comics?
No, I think I was waiting for this issue because it's a good jumping on point because I kind of missed the whole War World saga. But from you and everyone, like what Philip Kennedy Johnson's been building is been pretty impressive. I haven't heard like a meh or like, yeah, if you liked it. It's all been good things. So I'm excited to jump into it.
Yeah, pretty much you're either not reading it or you're loving it. There's no really in the middle ground with what he's done. He's really brought Kal-El back to greatness. You know, that Bendis era left a lot of bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. It just is what it is. But Philip Kennedy Johnson understands and writes this character in such a unique way that he is the best writer for Superman today. Like hands down. I couldn't imagine someone else that I would want to see on Superman. I would just be happy with having Philip Kennedy Johnson. Highly suggest everybody jumping in because, like he said, this is the jump on point. If you don't read Superman or wondering where to even start or want to give it a try, like give it a fair shake and not just assume it's not for you, this is the book to do it with. Action Comics 1047. So let's get to this. Let me see if I got this giveaway thing going. I do. So let me share the screen here. Doom, 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 doom. So today we're going to be giving away Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead, issue number 1, written by Bruce Campbell himself. And this is the polybagged variant. So I have no clue what's inside this polybag. It just has that awesome army green with the sergeant stripes on there. So give everybody another second to jump in. Got 16 entries. Got 18 watching. So that's good enough. I'm going to hit that draw in 3, 2, 1. And the winner of this bad boy goes to Pops.
It stays home.
Well, Dad, I've got 2 copies, so I'm going to spin again. Let's draw again. Congrats, Pop, on your win. Pick your copy up from the LCS. Dale of Suspense, congratulations. Boom, 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 boom. Congrats, Pops. Congrats. Yeah, that's my dad. If I'm going to do a giveaway of something like that, I can just hand him a copy. So we gave away 2 today. So Dale, you can let me know in the chat if you want this polybag open to see what the comic is inside. Because I'm not assuming it's an A cover. It never is. It's some kind of own cover. Or if you want it sent to you as is and you can open it yourself, just let me know. So congrats to Dale. Open it, he says. Open it. Well, let's do that. I'm going to let Flo talk to you for 1 second. I'm going to get scissors as to not put pressure on the book when I open it.
All right. Ooh. Looks like Pops is putting that in his next grab bag. Buy that. I got one of those, and it was awesome.
Boom. Yeah, so Pop's Attic on Instagram is where you can buy all kinds of great books for super duper prices, well under FeeBay prices. And he also has $5 blind grab bags. So here we go. Here's the poly bag out of the bag and board. Oh yeah, and Pop's Attic Instagram page is posted in the description of all my videos. Hop over there, give him a follow, check out the inventory, and take advantage of the killer deals. So there it is, Mr. Dale. And the back of it looks like such. So I'm just going to cut across the top. That way you can save the poly bag. That's kind of cool. I'm curious what's in here too. It was hard not to open one at the LCS. All right. It's just an A cover. I'm going to be bummed. It's definitely not an A cover. It feels cardstock. Oh, this cover. You know, with the Deceased, they did the poly bag, and it was just a version of the 1 in 25. This one doesn't look like it was any of the covers offered. Holy crap. Bro, that is fire. It's a Frank Quitely variant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Iron Cross on the back of the Nazi's head. Sergeant Rock holding the gun up still where he blew his brains out. He even has an eyeball dangling in the hole and the other eyeball hanging out the back of his head. Bro, that is insane.
I think I might have to go to Midtown Comics and get that one.
That is insane. Super cool. Of course, virgin cardstock. Dude, that is wild. Oh, and it's like partially matted too. The blood and
Man.
guts are shiny matted. You see that? That is awesome. Wicked. So huge congratulations to Dale for being today's winner. Y'all be sure to hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Tomorrow, the 1,500 subscriber giveaway entry video posts. If you're a channel member, it's already available to you on the community tab to see some of the prizes that are being included. There's definitely a lot more than what's in the video. You can also see some of the guests that will be coming on and hanging out, how to enter, when the live stream will be, all that good stuff is included in the video. So definitely consider subscribing to the channel so you can win some cool stuff then. Paul said, never mind, I'm keeping it. I don't blame you. That cover's amazing. Yeah, that is awesome. So, and also this coming Sunday during the live show will be the September Legion Loot giveaway, where I'll be giving away the Legal Burning Prints, the Austin LeMay slab, the Big Time Collectible books that are all for the channel members. So consider joining the Legion, get entered into those monthly giveaways if you want. It also gives you custom emojis, loyalty badges, early access to videos, all that good stuff. But that's going to be it for today. The wife just pulled up and honked at me. So until next time, I appreciate you hopping on, Flo.
Yeah, anytime.
Just remember, hope is the lie that we make come true.